Hello, little explorers! Today I invite you to travel to a magical place where a great story happened a long, long time ago. Get ready to discover this exciting adventure full of very important lessons. Have you ever wanted to escape? To run far, far away from something you were supposed to do? Well, this is the story of a man named Jonah, to whom God gave a mission, a giant mission. God asked him to go to a huge city called Nineveh, but it wasn't for a vacation. Jonah had to tell all the people there that they needed to change their hearts. And do you know what Jonah thought? He thought to himself that, no way. He didn't like those people, and they didn't deserve a warning. So he decided to do the unthinkable. He decided to escape from God. Jonah ran to the port, his heart pounding a mile a minute. He found a ship going in the opposite direction to a place called Tarshish. Perfect. He paid for his ticket, sneaked deep inside the ship, and when it sailed, he breathed a sigh of relief. He thought he had succeeded. But can you really run away from the creator of the world? Suddenly, boom! The blue sky turned black as night. The wind howled like an angry wolf. Waves like mountains of water began to crash against the ship, which groaned and creaked as if it were about to break in two. The sailors, brave men of the sea, were terrified. They had never seen anything like it. Meanwhile, where was Jonah? Asleep. Can you believe it? The captain found him and woke him up, asking him to pray to his God. The desperate sailors decided to cast lots to find the culprit. They drew straws, one by one, everyone's heart pounding hard, until only one was left. Jonah's. Trapped, Jonah had to confess everything. He told them it was his fault that he was running from his powerful God, and that for the sea to calm down, they had to throw him into the waves. The sailors didn't want to do it. They tried to row with all their might, but the storm was relentless. They had no other choice. They lifted him and threw him overboard. Instantly, everything became calm. The sea was still, like a mirror. Jonah sank, down, 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 into the cold darkness of the ocean. It seemed like the end. But just then, a shadow, an immense shadow was moving beneath him. It was bigger than a boat, bigger than a house. It wasn't a monster coming to devour him. No, it was a rescue. A rescue sent by God. A giant fish, sent to save him, opened its enormous mouth and... gulp! Jonah was inside. It was dark. It was silent. And there, in the belly of the great fish, Jonah had time, lots of time to think. He understood there was no escape. And more importantly, he understood that even in his disobedience, God had not abandoned him. He had given him a second chance. From the darkness, Jonah prayed, but he didn't ask to get out. He thanked God for saving him and made a promise that this time he would obey, that he would do the right thing. But the adventure doesn't have to end here. You can become an adventure messenger. How? Down below, you'll find the buttons to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss these fascinating stories from God's Word. 3 days and 3 nights passed. And then, God gave the fish an order. And the giant fish swam straight to the shore, and with a loud blah, spit him out safe and sound onto the beach. Once again, Jonah heard God's voice. The message was the same. Go to Nineveh. And what did Jonah do this time? This time he didn't run. He didn't hide. He got up, shook the seaweed off his clothes, and started walking. He arrived in the enormous city of Nineveh and walked through its streets, shouting a short but powerful message. He told them that in just 40 days, if they didn't change, their city would be destroyed. And then, the incredible happened. The people listened. From the king on his throne to the shepherd in the field. Everyone realized their mistakes. They asked God for forgiveness with all their hearts. And God, who is pure mercy and love, saw their repentant hearts and forgave them. The city was saved. What a happy ending, right? Well, not for everyone. Do you know who was furious? Jonah! He sat on a hill in a bad mood, angry because God had been so good to the people he didn't like. He was like a child who doesn't get what he wants, so God taught him one last lesson. He made a beautiful plant grow that gave Jonah nice, cool shade. Jonah was happy with his plant. But the next day, a little worm nibbled on the plant and it withered. Jonah became even sadder and angrier, all because of a plant. It was then that God spoke to him gently and asked if a plant, which he hadn't even cared for, was more important than thousands and thousands of people and animals in Nineveh who needed his love and his forgiveness. And in that silence, on that hill, Jonah finally understood everything. He understood that God's love isn't just for some. It's not a prize for the good. God's love is a gift for everyone. And so, Jonah, the prophet who ran away, the man who was swallowed by a fish, learned the greatest lesson of all. And you? Are you ready for your own great adventure of listening, obeying, and sharing love? Parents, this story is perfect for a family talk. What did you think of Jonah's reaction at the beginning? And at the end? How can we show God's compassion to others, even to those we find it hard to love? Remember, Bible stories are full of adventure, lessons, and most of all, God's incredible love for us. If you're enjoying this content, you'd help us out a lot by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Remember, it's free. Let us know what country you're from and how great your love for God is. We would love to read your comments. I hope you enjoyed this adventure and that peace and hope will always shine in your hearts. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Keep growing in faith as a family. See you in the next video.